My goodness, I've lived here for 15 years and haven't seen anything like this. It's surreal.
The images coming out of Minneapolis and into the homes and cell phones of Americans are shocking, disturbing, upsetting, confusing. To many people in this country, it doesn't make sense to burn down someone else's business and set fire to streets in your own neighborhood.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
All in the name of justice.
We must confront our shortcomings with both humility as well as hope. We must restore the peace so that we can do this hard work together.
Americans with more liberties than others have been asking why. Why do this for more than half a century? And the answers are always born from America's original sin. First, slavery, and after that, Jim Crow laws meant to keep black Americans in their place. Then came the civil unrest of the 60s, when most black Americans were getting second-class educations from segregated schools, were kept from registering to vote in the South, and still couldn't sit at white lunch counters. In 1968, it was the execution of the greatest civil rights leader this country has ever seen that poured gas on the fire. These here are pictures of the violence and, yes, the looting in Miami.
2 hours has been a raining of bricks and bottles and cans, and you can see in the background some of the debris. These persons here were determined to drive the white cops out of the area.
Dad would not have wanted it to happen this way, but over 100 cities, over 100, went up in flames between that period of April 4th to April 8th or 9th when he was actually buried.
The oldest son of Dr. Martin Luther King says he does not condone the violence and thieving that's happening on America's streets this evening, but says he certainly understands it.
I'm seeing on a lot of people's Facebook pages like, you know, what good does it do to burn down neighborhoods, much less your own neighborhoods? What do you say to those people who ask those questions today?
While I would not ever condone violence, ever, I do understand the emotions, the anxiety, the frustration that people are going through. And I think, you know, this is wrong. It may be wrong on many levels, but buildings can be restored. How do you restore a human life?
It was that question that hung in the air after the death of Michael Brown at the hands of a white police officer who was never charged in Ferguson, Missouri, and after Freddie Gray died in a police van in Baltimore, and in 1992 after the acquittal of the white officers who nearly beat the life out of Rodney King.
We live in a society that still sees black people as violent, as dangerous, as immoral, as untrustworthy. So when they have interactions with law enforcement, we don't get a presumption of innocence. When things escalate even a little bit, we're more likely to be killed. Black people are subject to a level of threat and a level of danger that their white counterparts simply aren't.
Val Demings was the first black woman police chief in Orlando. Now she represents Florida's 10th congressional district.
Law enforcement was once used as a tool of oppression. Think about the water hoses and the dogs being turned on innocent people, many of them young people.
The president came out strong online on what's happening in Minnesota, calling the protesters thugs, threatening to send in federal soldiers, and tweeting that when the looting starts, the shooting starts. The language isn't going over well, and Twitter labeled the message violent. The phrase echoes a statement from this former police chief in Miami who in 1967 and 68 threatened to crack the skulls of civil rights and anti-war demonstrators.
The president is supposed to provide strong yet compassionate leadership. But while America is on fire, not just in Minnesota, but really around the nation, the president is running around with the gasoline, and it's shameful.
Martin Luther King III believes that Minneapolis will not be the last to see its streets set on fire until the streets feel heard and America responds to the injustice.
My dad talked about America becoming what it ought to be. And what it ought to be is a nation where everyone can thrive, where everyone has a decent education or the best education, everyone has decent housing. Everybody should be able to have a decent job. Everybody should be able to have justice.
For Nightline, I'm Steve Osunsami in Atlanta.
No peace! No peace! No peace!
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.